So some very unsettling slash scary news for Attack on Titan's final season set to air for this season of anime, fall 2020, I think around December 20th of this year. So there was a New Type magazine interview discussing how Studio Mappa managed to get a hold of Attack on Titan's final season and kind of what led them to get it and no other studio managing to actually pick it up. Because if you have been living under a rock, FYI, the studio that's been working on Attack on Titan to this very point has been Wit Studio. They worked on Attack on Titan Season 1, Attack on Titan Season 2, Attack on Titan Season 3. So Wit Studios had to give up Attack on Titan because their schedule is completely booked. They would have no time to really work on the series and bring it the best quality that they possibly could, because normally when it comes to anime studios, they're usually booked at years at a time. Like, they have anime already planned for maybe a year or two in the future. They already know what they're going to do, so they didn't really have time to really work on Attack on Titan and do probably the best they possibly can, so they had to give it up to another studio. In the end result, this is probably for the better in life of Wit Studios not really having to force their workers to overwork, because it's a major problem in Japan. But at the same time, with them having to shift over this series to another studio, it brings up a lot more other issues. It brings up reminiscent problems of maybe even One Punch Man that many experienced, a year or so back. Obviously, this caused a lot of people to start to freak out, think, oh no, we got a One Punch Man situation, etc., etc. It caused the community getting quite the uproar, because let's be honest, Attack on Titan is a fan favorite series. It brought a lot of people into the anime community. It's definitely mainstream. It's a popular series for a good reason at that, and it's a really well-written series. As someone that is almost up to date with them all, I'm a few chapters behind, it's a really good series. So it makes sense why many would be very scared slash shocked when they found out, Attack on Titan would be given to another studio, since it's no longer going to be Wit Studios. Now, it's been up in the air for a while until very recently, the past few months or so. We didn't really know who was actually going to be working on the final season. Eventually, it was revealed to be Studio Mappa. Now, if you don't know who Studio Mappa is, to give the easiest way to explain who they are, they're the individuals that are currently working on Jujutsu Kaisen from this anime season. So if you know about Jujutsu Kaisen, you know how beautiful it looks, how fantastic the animation is, etc., then you definitely know that Studio Mappa knows how to make good anime. They have made countless good anime over the years, so honestly, when it comes to their track record, I'm not necessarily worried. They do have a lot of good employees, animators, etc. that could definitely make Attack on Titan as good as it needs to be. However, we gotta look at this New Type interview that came out that kind of explains the situation of how Studio Mappa actually got their hands on the series in the first place. So from Kensuke, he says, there was a discussion with Wit Studios during the production of Season 3. The story had reached a critical juncture, and as creators, we wanted to step things up even more than we had until now. We wanted to find a new studio, but most of them were no good. Many of them said they just couldn't take the workload. Toshiro of MBS, the refusals were mostly due to the scheduling. Tataishi, only one studio said we'll think about it, and that was Mappa. The people at Wit also felt comfortable with Mappa taking over. As you can see, this entire little part of the interview from New Type's interview and all that on the whole studio getting Attack on Titan is very scary. And the reason why I want to point out this is that one line, literally what I'm reading here, the refusals were mostly due to scheduling. So all of these individual studios that refused Attack on Titan didn't say they didn't want to do it because they just hate Attack on Titan. They refused it because they're booked. They have so much anime jam-packed on their schedule, they can't possibly put resources on Attack on Titan at such a short notice. And then you have Studio Mappa and their comment on this, and they say, well, think about it. That's what Studio Mappa said about Attack on Titan's final season. And so, from what it appears, especially from this interview, it paints the light as if Attack on Titan was just straight up forced on Studio Mappa, and they might do the series justice. I'm not hating on Attack on Titan. If you look at the trailer of Attack on Titan's final season that came out very recently, it looks really good. However, once again, trailers can be very deceiving. I think anyone that has been around for a very long time, not just in the anime community, knows how movies can be as well. Movies usually like to have trailers that show the main content, and usually it's to get you hyped up, and it's not really the full glimpse of what the whole movie has to offer. There could be a lot of bad things within the movie, series, etc. And so you can't obviously say that the series or a movie, etc. is going to be good just from a trailer. So the trailer could just be covering up some of the deeper problems going on behind the scenes. I don't want to be a downer. I love Attack on Titan. It is one of my favorite series of all time, one of the best manga I have read in a very long time, has such a deep story, great characters, etc. I love it. But at the same time, just seeing this interview basically talk about how there is scheduling issues, and then Mappa said they would think about it, and they didn't really just straight up agree to it, is kind of worrying. I do hope Attack on Titan turns out well, but if we look at where Attack on Titan is and its scheduling, it's coming out this season. And Studio Mappa is already working on a show. They're working on Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's very clear if you see these past 2 episodes and even the sneak peek that came out earlier this morning, they're definitely putting all of their eggs in one basket, at least for Jujutsu Kaisen. They're really trying hard to make Jujutsu Kaisen a fantastic show. You have Crunchyroll pushing it, you have Jump pushing it, you have these animators of Studio Mappa pushing it. They're going all in. They're really trying their best to make the series successful. And because of that, I worry that all this talent that's being put on Jujutsu Kaisen is being taken away from Attack on Titan. Now, I'm not going to, put Jujutsu Kaisen down if Attack on Titan fails. I'm mainly looking at how this series has been forced upon Studio Mappa and why Attack on Titan might be experiencing a time crunch, which, with that word, time crunch, it's never good. Regardless if everything turns out a-okay, Attack on Titan's final season is the best season we ever see. Nothing will change my opinion on the fact that time crunch and forcing your animators and workers to overwork themselves to the point where they might even kill over at their desk is never something good whatsoever. It's never acceptable. The big point I want to bring up here is that regardless of whatever happens, it's really wrong and messed up and cruel to see that these animators, they know how much people love Attack on Titan, and if they really do know this, and they, really have passion for what they do, they're probably going to put 100% into it, even go beyond it, but that's not good for their health. I just think it's really wrong and messed up to force this series onto Studio Mappa, or any studio, not even just Mappa, at such a short time frame, and expect them to do this when they're already working on something that's such a high-profile series like Jujutsu Kaisen. That's just my main, issue I have here. But I kind of wanted to bring this to everybody's attention if you're unaware of it. It's really a mixed bag at this point. We don't really know how Attack on Titan's final season's going to be, but we should definitely brace ourselves for something that might not be as good as the previous seasons. We'll see. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my worries are not warranted, and maybe it's going to be the best season that we've ever seen of Attack on Titan. I mean, the content is definitely going to be the best we've seen, but can the adaptation bring it to life? That is the question. But I'll leave it at that. I love you guys. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.